Technoblade is finally back on the Dream SMP, and over the course of his last 2 streams, something unexpected happened. Technoblade got trapped inside Pandora's vault while he was visiting Dream. For someone who was expected to be the one to break Dream out of prison, him getting stuck next to Dream raised many questions. How will Techno escape? Will Dream and Techno escape together? Why is Techno having Dream write down everything he knows about the prison? Well, after analyzing this entire stream as well as many others, I am here to tell you exactly how Techno will escape and what will happen afterwards. And trust me when I say this theory gets crazy. But before the video starts, I want to remind you that subscribing is free, and it goes something like this. You press big red button, number go up, and I get one step closer to escaping the dark void that is the Dream SMP lore. Enjoy the video. The stream starts with Techno telling Phil that he's going to be visiting Dream in prison. Phil is against the idea at first, because as we all know, everyone who has visited Dream in prison so far has suffered in some way, especially Tommy. So as insurance, Techno gives Phil a book called Techno's Will. At first, this book really doesn't seem like much, but Techno states that the book has quote-unquote instructions inside of it.
So how long do I wait? 2 days, 3 days, a week?
Varies.
Because you can't contact any. You can't.
Listen, I put
once you're in there.
The instructions are in the will. All right.
We're going to go over why this is so important later, and trust me, it's important. Now, all of this already signals to the fact that Techno isn't just going to visit Dream for the fun of it. He probably already has some plans in mind in case something were to happen during the visit. Some of you might say, well, that's just paranoia, but think about it. Quackity was the one that advised Techno to go and see Dream, and as we all know, Quackity and Techno aren't really the best of friends, especially not after Techno killed him. So it makes a lot of sense for Techno to be cautious when it comes to a person like Quackity, and make a solid plan just in case something goes wrong during the visit. And unfortunately for Techno, everything went wrong. After Techno arrives at the prison, he signs the waivers, and the whole visiting process was actually going very smoothly. Techno was complimenting nearly every single redstone mechanism in the prison, and in return, Sam killed him multiple times. I'm kidding, he would have done that anyways. But just as Techno entered the main cell, Dream started screaming.
Dream, what's up?
Techno, no! No!
No what?
Quackity, it's a trap! It's a trap!
What?
Techno.
What about Quackity? Quackity was lying, you said.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Dream. I kinda had a feeling he was lying.
They're working together.
The entire thing was a setup. Sam and Quackity were working together, and Techno is now stuck inside the most secure prison on the Dream SMP. If this betrayal came as a surprise to some of you, then you probably haven't seen Quackity's side of the story recently. Only a couple weeks back, Quackity reached out to Sam, and with his help, Quackity visited the prison every day for 30 days straight, each time damaging Dream, both physically and mentally. So, Quackity and Sam's relationship didn't form instantly last night, they were already working together. But despite of the current situation, Techno doesn't seem too bothered.
It's fine. I know it looks bad, Dream. I know it looks bad. But we are not out of options, alright? You got books and quills, Dream. I need you to write down everything you know. You need to tell me everything you know about this prison. And, it's looking like you're gonna have a lot of time to do that.
At that moment, something became very obvious to everyone who was watching. Techno has a plan. Asking Dream to write everything he knows about the prison? How would that help Dream and Techno in this situation? Unless Techno already has a way to escape. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. If Techno escapes, then surely Dream will come with him too, right? Well, not exactly. Let me explain. Firstly, if Techno was planning on escaping with Dream, then he probably wouldn't have let him write everything he knows about the prison down on books, would he? Plus, I honestly don't see a way for both of them to break out of the prison from inside without dying, because as we all know, Dream is currently on his last canonical life. This means that Techno is probably going to escape alone, and after brainstorming ways to escape from this prison from the inside, I have been able to think of only one possible way for Techno to bypass every single security system in Pandora's vault: Enderpearl status chambers. If you don't know what an Enderpearl status chamber is, it's basically a long-distance teleporter. By having an Enderpearl float inside of a upstream bubble column, the pearl is put in status and can only be activated if something solid hits it. No matter where you are in a Minecraft world, as long as the chunk that this chamber is in is still loaded, you will always be teleported to that spot. And guess what? Inside of the main base of the Syndicate, which is an organization founded by Techno and Phil to bring anarchists together, we see an Enderpearl status chamber reserved to each and every one of the current members, including Technoblade, which he can use to escape the prison in the blink of an eye. The only catch is, in Techno's case, even if he has already set up one of these chambers, it has to be activated by another player. Which leads us to the book Techno gave Phil. Remember how Techno described the book? Instructions. An oddly specific word to describe a will, right? I think you know where I'm going with this. I believe that this seemingly innocent book contains the instructions that Phil needs to follow in order to teleport Techno out of the prison. Plus, Techno's inventory is also going to stay the same during the escape, meaning that everything Dream has written down about the prison so far can escape with Techno. The perfect, foolproof plan. Except there's still one more mystery remaining. From what we've gathered so far, they can't take advantage of Enderpearl status chambers while breaking out Dream because Dream doesn't seem to have one set up. So how exactly is Techno going to break Dream out? Well, he needs two things. First of all, he needs information about the prison's inner workings, the guards, everything. That's why I think he's having Dream write down everything he knows about the prison, because remember, Dream and Sam built it together. The second thing he needs is a mastermind to devise a plan based on the information they have gathered. Now look, I'm not calling Techno dumb by any means whatsoever, but as it stands, Pandora's vault is the most secure structure ever built on the Dream SMP, and I honestly think that Techno will act more as the brawn of this operation rather than the brains. So who is smart enough to make a plan to break Dream out? WilburSoot. If you don't know already, WilburSoot has recently been revived after spending several years in limbo, doing nothing. Nothing other than thinking. He has become extremely smart, and his previous chaotic ideas have seemingly been amplified.
Wilbur, and Wilbur's...
No?
Wilbur's gonna help me escape. He will owe me his life. And he's been there for how many years? He's probably the smartest man on the entire planet.
And guess what? He sees Dream as his hero. So what do you think he'll say when Techno asks him to help break Dream out? He'll probably do whatever he can. He owes Dream his life after all. So, using the information given by Dream himself, Wilbur will be able to print out the blueprint of Pandora's vault and construct a plan to break Dream out. Wait. Blueprints? That's right, blueprints. This might seem completely irrelevant if you haven't watched my previous video on the topic, but a couple months back, Dream got on Twitter and asked to work with fan artists to create factual blueprints of Pandora's vault. It's an oddly specific thing to ask, right? Well, it's the perfect thing that Wilbur and Techno can use to devise a plan to break Dream out, based on the very information that Dream has now given them. Think about it, why else would Dream have asked for this, and why else would he have specified that it's going to be factual? Well, it's most likely going to be used in-game in order to form the breakout plan. So there you have it. Techno's plan to escape prison and break Dream out. But hey, at the end of the day, that's just a theory. Thanks for watching.